Hi guys, my name is Sam. Thank you so much for coming to this video, and I'm back with yet another virtual DJ project in which we shall go and use stems to make good transitions. Now, a case study is going to be from a mixtape by DJ Shinsky. I'm going to link his video in the description down below. Now, what I mean here is that we should use stems strictly and maybe a few effects to do transitions between tracks and make it nice. Right, so I call these things projects because my channel focuses on customization, mostly like creative customization, and of course a little bit of new feature updates on virtual DJ strictly, mostly. Yeah, so here we are again. Make sure you subscribe, tune in. This one is a big one, so please make sure you tune in. Follow every step because it's going to be quite complex, especially if you're a beginner. I imagine you already know a little bit of scripting in virtual DJ, and of course I also assume you have watched my other projects before. Let's get going. There are some settings you need to have before you can get started with using the pads. So now you have to come to settings. The first thing you want to do is you have to reset stems while loading a new song. So just come to reset, just type in here reset. So we have to reset stems on load. Just say all. So that is going to remove everything in case, like for example, this was here, the instrument only was playing, and then you load a new track. For you not to get confused, you should have that reset so that you can know where to carry up from. If you don't do that, this part here will remain active, so you should always keep that in mind. Another thing that also you want to do is that you have to reset effects also on load, because maybe you wiped out the previous song and this echo was on. So for you not to be confused, let's reset effects also on load. Just put it to yes. If it was on no, just have it on yes. So have the reset stems on load to all, and then have the reset effects on load to yes. Yeah, so that is it. So here I have a set of 8 pads which I just made recently, although they took some long time to make them. And I'm going to go ahead and explain all these pads each at a time with examples of what they can do. Now the pad 1 here is a power pad. I decided to call it a power pad. It is because most of these other pads are going to work depending on its status. Alright, so what I mean here is that if it is on, some pads here will do specific things, and also if it's off, like this, some of those other pads would also have to perform other actions. So for example, I have this pad 2 here, which is a split. So what this does here is that it's going to split stems between these two tracks on deck 1 and deck 2, or deck A and deck B. What I mean here is that if you click on split, you should be able to have vocals on deck A and instrumentals playing on deck B so that you can do some transitions. But of course, this is how it's going to happen. If the power button is on, if the power pad is on and you click on split, deck 1 will carry vocals, deck 2 will carry instruments. You can do this even when both songs are already playing, or even if only one side is playing, if you want to split those like that. And then let's check. If you click it again when the power pad is still on, it is going to disable. So it's on and off, right? Split and release. So if this power pad is off, this deck A will now carry instruments or instrumental, and then deck B will carry vocals. Let's check it. Just put this off and then split, right? So now we have deck A playing instrumentals only, and then deck B playing vocals. Once again, if you click here, it's going to be disabled. It's on and off, on and off. So take a look at this power button, or the power pad, and the split pad. So I'm going to sample here. I'm going to play both decks and then have this split happening.
I pop off with the new rock electron. When I take a few shots, they're too.
Yeah, so don't mind if it wasn't on point, but what I wanted you to know was that deck A was carrying vocals only and deck B was carrying instruments only. I hope you noticed that. Right, so let's disable it. So that was deck A carrying the vocals. So that was the power button and then the split. So if we do it off and then we do the split again, let's play. Now this time we want to know if deck A is going to carry instruments only or instrumental only, and then the other one will carry vocals only. Let's do it. Alright, so now you saw how it switched between the stems. The transition part of it I'll explain later, but let's first explain how these pads work. So we are done with these two pads. We shall always refer back to this one here. So let's do it. Now this third one here, which is mute A and mute B, let me just explain. They do the same thing, right? So this one here is to mute deck A while pressed, right? And this one mutes deck B while pressed. So instead of like doing the levels like I was doing to show you what was happening, I can just click on this to mute one of the stems, because now we assume one deck is carrying instruments and then the other deck is carrying vocals. So you can press and then mute one deck to have only vocals playing or instruments only playing on the other deck. Let's just do it.
Wake up every morning, thing routine morning. Grew up too fast without warning. Things is calling.
Yeah, so you saw that. That is very simple, yeah? That was just basically it. So you mute one side, which is carrying instruments only or vocals only, you leave the other one to play. That is these two pads here. Mute A, and mute B. So this other one here, vocal, go along with this other one here, instru, right? Instru. So this is straightforward. Vocal is carrying vocals only. So when you do that, that means you want only vocals to play. And when you activate this, you mean to say only instrumentals should play. But then here is the function. Now, number one, these pads here are to indicate which one is playing on this deck or which one is playing on this deck when the split is on, right? For example, if I do split, right? Just like that. So now you can see deck A is playing instrumentals and then deck B is playing vocals. So you can easily know, these are like indicators, right? So you can easily know which deck you're dealing with, which stem you're dealing with on which deck, right? So another function here is that it is like an emergency exit button. It's like an exit. You want to remove these. Maybe you just did it accidentally and you want to let the whole part of the song play. Maybe you just wanted to cancel this song here and let everything play. You can just simply exit that, right? Or whatever was on, you can just deactivate. What I mean to say here is that it's just meant to deactivate what was active on these pads here. So that doesn't need any demonstration. You just know that is straightforward and self-explanatory. Now let's come to this pad 5. This one is quite complex, but I want you to understand. You're going to do a little bit of practice to get this mastered. Now this is PS, P stroke S, right? It is play and split or select. This S also can stand for select. Now what this pad does is, I need your attention here. What this pad does is that it's going to play both decks when none of them is playing at the moment. See, deck 1 is not playing, deck 2 or deck B is also not playing. When you click on it, it's going to play both decks at once. Doesn't matter which point of the song. where the cue, whatever the cue point is, it's going to just play from there. For example, we have the cue in the beginning and this. So, but it's only going to play them when the power pad is on. Let's take a look. You saw that. Apart from only playing the songs, apart from only playing both decks, it's also going to split, right? So it's also going to split vocals on deck 1, and deck 2 will only play instrumentals. Take a look. Check this and check that. Let's just deactivate everything, right? The power pad is on. We shall play and have vocals on deck 1, and we shall play and have instruments on deck 2. Let's do it.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree. New rock.
Yeah, so you saw it. When I muted A, instruments only played on deck B. When I muted B, vocals only played on deck A or deck 1. So that is the function of this. Another function of this very pad here is that if the power pad is off, right? Check, it is off. It is going to serve only as a select button or a select pad for the active deck, for the deck on which side the pads are loaded. For example, check here. The power pad is off. No song is playing. If I click here, it's supposed to select deck B. Just like that. You see? So the reason for this is that sometimes you will be using a controller strictly and you don't have time to go with the mouse again to select which deck should be active. So you can just press on this pad here on your controller and have that deck selected. If you want to select B, you can just press on that pad. I mean, if you wanted to select A, right? You can just press on it and then have it selected. Pretty simple, right? Just keep in mind that no song is playing. And even if both songs were playing already and the split was already on, it was going to do the selection only. I believe I have already demonstrated it and you saw how that works. Another function here of the same pad was that when I did the split, you saw that deck 1 was carrying vocals by default and deck 2 was carrying instruments by default. Now we wanted to switch deck 1 to carry instrument and deck 2 to carry vocals. How would we do that? For us to have instruments playing on deck A and vocals playing on deck B using this power pad here, this would mean that the opposite deck or the deck where we want the vocals to play would be selected. Right now it is deck A which is active, so when we play here, when the power pad is on, deck A would carry vocals, deck B would carry instrumentals, right? If I want the instrumentals to play on deck A and then deck B would play vocals, that means vocals should come here and then the deck B should first be selected for the vocals to be this side. So how would we do it? We would have to take off the power pad, we would have to select deck B, just like this, and then we would have to put back the power pad, right? And then we would have to play.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey.
I guess I need to repeat that, right? So you saw deck B was carrying vocals this time now, unlike the first time. Deck A is carrying instrumentals now. Using this power pad, if we want deck A to carry vocals again, and then instruments to play from deck B, we would have to have deck A selected first. Imagine you only have a controller, you don't have a mouse to come here and select the deck. You would have to first put off the power pad. It would not affect the song if it was playing. We would have to select the deck, right? Now to play the song, we would have to put back the power and then we would have to play. Vocals should be here, instruments should be here. Let's do it.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. Got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop.
I hope that is understandable. I hope you understood that. If you didn't, I'm going to leave a PDF which is explaining these parts here on my Telegram channel. So please check the link in the description down below. But I hope that was so easy for you. Now, another thing is that all that we have been doing with this pad here and the power pad was when both songs are not playing. So let's imagine now deck A is already playing. You want to introduce deck B, but you want to eliminate instruments from deck A so that you only introduce instruments from deck B. This is what would happen. You'd have to first play the full deck, like the full song, right, with everything on deck A. And then you would have to now introduce deck B, but remove instruments from deck A and only introduce instruments on deck B. That means the vocals of deck A would blend on the instruments of deck B, as if that was one song. This is what I mean. You would have to have deck A selected, number one. It is already playing, but you would have to have it selected for it to remain with vocals, and then instruments would come from the other side, or instrumentals would come from the other side. So deck A is already playing, it is selected. When we press on this with the power pad on, when we press on the PS with the power pad on, vocals will remain on deck A, instrumentals will come from deck B. Let's do it.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop, the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic groove up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take a new song. 'Cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing. All here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me. I think I've had enough of this.
You saw that. I can do this again for you to understand. We want to make a transition from deck A to deck B, but the number one thing we shall do is mute the instrument from deck A and have the vocals of deck A layered on top of the instruments of deck B. Deck A was already playing. We want to move into deck B by introducing only instrumentals of deck B and removing the instrumentals of deck A, and then having the vocals of deck A on top of the instrumentals of deck B. Let's play deck A again. I'm going to start it from here this time. Right? Let's do it.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop, the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic groove up. I'm too honest when I take a you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing. Up every day feels boring. The same thing, routine in the morning.
You saw it. Yeah, so that was it. Now, in between there is one part that we haven't talked about, the last one. Now, to help you at least spice up your transitions a little bit, I have decided to put echo here. I called it Echo Plus. Now, how this one works, it has two effects on it. It has two effects. One effect will work when the power pad is on. All of them are echo effects. The other effect will work when the power pad is off. When the power pad is off and you press on this, it's going to play some kind of echo. It's going to do a little bit of bit grid. It's quite complex, right? I can't explain it here. I needed to show you the script so you can see it. Now, That effect only works while the pad is pressed. When the power pad is off, you have to hold this one here to have that kind of echo or the effect which I'm talking about to play. When you release, the effect goes. But also, even if you hold it for long, the effect is meant to play for some beats and then the song will start playing normally. So even if you hold it for how long, later the song will be playing normally. Let me demonstrate that and then I'll have to explain the other effect with the power pad on. So this one here, the power pad is off. We'll have the song playing. Listen to what will happen when I hold this pad here. Let's do it.
Taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the make it to the make it turn it up a new degree. Bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop with the pop when I take a few shots.
I hope you noticed it, but something that I had forgotten to tell you is that this pad here only applies the echo on vocals only. The instruments will be moving, the vocals will be affected. So you will now know when to use the effect, which side has vocals. So that means if this deck A was carrying vocals only, when you did the split before, the instruments are the other side, this effect will work on deck A. If you apply it on deck B, which is carrying instruments only, it will not work. Let's do it again. So I'm going now to split vocals on deck A, play deck B with instruments only, and try to apply the echo on both decks. You see which deck can be affected and which one will not. Deck A should have the effect because it will have the vocals. Deck B will not be affected because it will be having beats only or instrumentals only. Let's do it.
Shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. Then there's gossip, then there's gossip. I pop with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take a new song.
I hope you saw that. So it's only for the deck which is carrying vocals. Unless you just want to have fun on a song that is playing fully with nothing muted, you can use it. But if you are doing a transition, one side is having vocals, one side is having instrumentals, this effect should only work on the side which is carrying vocals. Let's go into the last effect which is on this pad and then we call it off. So now I've explained this effect with the power pad off. Now let's have it on and we see what happens with this. So let me explain it. When the power pad is on, when you click on this effect here, on this echo here, it's going to do a loop out echo on the vocal. You see? So now, it's now here. I have the echo effect here, right? So when I do this, it activates echo. It is set to echo out, but here it's working with the echo effect only. So when you come down here, still you will see that the effect is working on vocals only, right? So it's meant to work on vocals only. So when if you want to deactivate that, of course, you can just come down and remove it. But yes, this is meant to work with vocals only. It's going to echo out with the power pad on. Power pad on, echo out. Power pad off, the other effect, right? So when you want to deactivate it, you can only deactivate it with the power pad on. When the power pad is off, meanwhile the echo was on, you cannot deactivate it at all. It will be applying the other effect, the first effect, on top of this one here. So to deactivate it, you have the power pad on and then that off. So let me just sample that and then we close the video. Let's do it.
Taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I bop, bop, then bop, then bop, then bop, then bop, then bop,
Yeah, so you heard it, right? The echo is 1 bit long. It also works on only vocals. It's meant to leave you with only instrumentals. Sweep out the vocals, only remain with instrumentals. It also only works with the deck which is carrying vocals. It doesn't apply to a deck which is carrying instrumentals. So that was it. This was such a long video. I hope you really got everything clear. If you didn't get it well, feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section down below. Get a PDF instruction in the Telegram channel, which is linked in the description of this video. Do a lot of practice. I want to see your progress on the Telegram group or on the WhatsApp group. So please, let's do it. I hope this saves your time. Someone might say, I'm going to do it the hard way, the usual way, but this one here with creativity, with a lot of practice, it's going to help you save a lot of time and work. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think. Let's see you in the next one.